Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Sorry about that, I got cut off for a minute. But as I was saying it just feels a little rushed and ill-conceived to start ending the multiverse saga on what could be grand, because I know there's plans for a Avengers versus X-Men, which is fine. They can still do that for as Avengers 8 or 7, maybe 9, and then you can have Avengers Secret Wars as 10 and 11. Could still do that. Plus you can still do Avengers, the Young Avengers, as a mid Avengers film popcorn filler, because the multiverse saga should be grand and big and fantastic. Feel like this holy shit moment, where they're pulling from the comics, the animated universes, the live action multiverse. It just feels like it should be something bigger than a 3-part ending, Plus, this is called the multiverse saga. The multiverse saga. Give us different variations of different teams that we have seen but haven't seen, with different members, different team with different characters in those teams. Give us a history lesson on each universe. When did it start? Who started it? Give us different perspectives that we haven't seen. It should feel like that, I'm don't get me wrong, I like the MCU, I have faith in the MCU, but my faith is dwindling. It has been starting to dwindle for a while. But Deadpool and Wolverine, which I have not done a spoiler review for yet, brought my faith back and has revitalized my faith in the MCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or Marvel Studios as a whole. But I just want to see something grand. Stretch the multiverse saga out a bit. I'm not saying do a hard, soft reboot of Marvel. I think a clear hard reboot is 10-20 years away. At least 10 to 20 years away. We're still in the soft reboot. We're in the first soft reboot set of things. But a hard, clear reboot of the entire MCU and everything is at least a clear cut 10, 20, 30 years away. At least. That's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. You could agree with me, you could disagree with me, but at the end of the day, I feel like what they should do is have Avengers Doomsday be Part 5, which is fine, I'm okay with. But at the end, it should be revealed that Tony Stark is working with Kang, and that Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, is Tony Stark from our universe, from our Marvel Cinematic Universe that we have been following, and that, yes, Tony Stark did die at the end of Avengers Endgame, but Kang brought our Tony Stark back and made him, kind of brainwashed him into thinking he is Doctor Doom, which would be an interesting twist. Brainwashing Tony Stark. And then our Tony Stark that died at the end of Endgame is working with Kang, and Lee is a part of, and that's the plot of Avengers 6, Kang Dynasty, and they have to stop all the variations of Kang and whatnot, and they stop Kang, and then we get the Beyonder, and then we get his, and it is revealed that the Beyonder, Kang, and our Tony Stark, who is brainwashed, or was brainwashed, are working together as a massive team. And they are the powerhouses that is kind of fucking the MCU up and manipulating our minds and the rest of and like fucking with the multiverse, and that's why the MCU or the MCU that we've been following is kind of fucked up because they don't have their person. So they have to, kind of unbrainwash Tony Stark, and that's literally the plot of, like, the first 3 Avengers films, is how to unbrainwash Tony Stark, our Tony Stark, that we have been following since 2008, and then here comes the X-Men for Part 8, and Part 8, 9, and 10 is like the X-Men is like Avengers versus X-Men, and then Secret Wars is like a 3-part saga, is like the closing chapter of both everything Fox, Sony, and MCU related, and which would be Avengers Secret Wars 1, 2, and 3, kind of closing the gap into that whole, like, yes, this is where we were back in the day, this is where we are currently, but this is the end of all that. From our past to our present to our future. And that is when we start kind of hard rebooting the franchise with some things in between, like Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield's TASM 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4, Spider-Man with Tom Holland. Just do give us 1/4 movie of Tom Holland, and it could be called Brand New Home or something home, you know. And a 4th movie with Miles Morales, because there's Miles Morales is coming to the MCU at some point, you know. Stretch that out. Give us one more take on that. Give us an Andrew Garfield 3rd film, which Andrew Garfield deserves a 3rd film and a 4th film. Because with Andrew Garfield getting 2 more films, it's kind of like a redemption arc from Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know, kind of give us a better The Amazing Spider-Man duology film. You know, and Tobey Maguire could do a 4th film to kind of redeem himself with Avengers, with Spider-Man 3, which could work. Kind of redeem him a bit more than what we got to see him how we got to see him redeem himself a little bit from that movie, but it wasn't quite as satisfying as we intended. So kind of redeem those 2 Spider-Mans more by giving them another film. But the one who needs another 2 new films is Andrew Garfield. And I'm just saying, it could